Competition!
Hey YouTube, Dogregician84 here, and I thought I'd have a chat, basically inspired by a couple of videos where a couple of YouTubers were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And my recent rants regarding Master Duel in current format, while all the while kind of making this a remake of a video I did make but didn't upload, which was my top 10 reasons why I won't play current format anymore. Yeah, I made a slight mistake in that update video. I accidentally said top 8 reasons, but it was actually top 10. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, sometimes I just get words mixed up, especially when I'm talking too fast. So, anyway, it's been like a year and a month roundabout since I stopped playing current format Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, there were a few reasons behind it. Along with other reasons, just why I don't want to go back to it. You know, there's just too many negative aspects about it. It's interesting how it even came to this. I mean, originally, I was just not wanting to play in tournaments anymore for similar reasons. Brought on by just getting fed up of the meta and the format, and later on just being fed up of OTK and lockdown decks, regardless of whether you consider them control or stun, and regardless of whether any of these decks are meta or not. Yeah, this started going this way about a decade ago, and before I was just a happy-go-lucky duelist who just enter them anyway for the hell of it. Yeah, there were bad runs in tournaments before for whatever reason, but things started changing in 2015, which didn't help by the fact that the game just changed too much in 2014. With pendulums coming into the game and the first turn rule being changed by whoever goes first can't draw. Yeah, there ended up just being too many unbearable decks. Yeah, that was brought on by just too many shitty things just happening, starting from 2014, and it just affected me badly, where things that bothered me about the game bothered me even more, and that ultimately led me to quitting tournaments and quitting them on multiple occasions, trying time and time again to give them another chance, but ultimately it just never worked out, and in the end I just decided that competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Just wasn't for me anymore, and it ultimately led me to just not wanting to play the current format anymore. And I'd been following the current format for like over 20 years, and yeah, I just kept going with it regardless of whether I played in tournaments or not, and just never stopped to think, what the hell? Why am I still doing this? I mean, I still love this game regardless, but it's got to a point where it's just not the same anymore. And just current format itself just became stale. Yeah, there were just too many shit ban lists. People complaining about my decks for literally no reason, especially since my decks are fun, fair and balanced, and they literally don't do anything to stop you playing the game. Because yeah, as you know, like, I don't play dark bribes on legs and monsters that negate everything, or bullshit hand traps like Astral and D-Shifter, and I don't play bullshit floodgates like Skill Drain, Rivalry doesn't match, there can be only one mistake. So it's like, what the hell? Why are my decks of all decks just getting hate? Like, yeah, it just makes me annoyed as well as sad. You know, playing to do things that stop the opponent playing just isn't my style. You know, it's not how I roll. Everyone should know this by now. And yet there are people who just hate on my decks or complain about them for no reason. Like whether it's my signature 3 decks, including Rainbow Neos, or whether it's something like Utopia, Exodia, Vampires, or even Earthbound Immortals. Yeah, it just got too ridiculous, especially with the Rainbow Neos hate. And it's funny because some of these people who hated on my decks just complain about the likes of Rainbow Neos, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, Exodia, and the Earthbound Immortals, yet they're playing monsters that negate everything, as well as bullshit floodgates, which are so much worse. So I question the logic there. But speaking of floodgates and negates, as you probably guessed, just the bullshit floodgates, the bullshit hand traps, the OTK decks, the dark bribes on legs, the monsters that negate everything. These were just catalysts in me just ultimately quitting normal tournaments and ultimately quitting the normal current format. And not only that, it just included arguments over these things. I just got sick and tired of people starting arguments with me over cards and decks that I hate as well. Even some that just straight up got out of hand and just led me to quitting current format and other certain formats that are supposed to be casual. They'll just use any excuse and argument in the book to try and justify this bullshit, and just have biased favouritism, and they just can't and won't see the problem from other people's point of view. They don't seem to realise that some of us, want to actually play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And not get gamed turn one before we've had a chance to do something, or have our decks just completely locked down and our play stopped by Ash, Draw, D-Shifter, Floodgates and Negates. It's just annoying as well as boring and stale. Which brings me to the overall reason why I've stopped playing the current format and just don't want to go back to it. It's way too competitive. Too many players are just taking the game far too seriously, just only caring about winning rather than actually playing for the fun of it, and just winning in a cheap, easy way, like with OTK, FTK and lockdown decks. So it just became too much about playing to not let the opponent play, and I just can't put up with that. And it just annoyed me when there were those occasions where people just roped me back into playing a current format game, and it's like, I don't want to play this way. It's like my wishes and decisions just aren't being respected. Even when it comes to Master Duel, but I already did a full-blown rant regarding that in the update video I did earlier in the week, so I'm not going to get into that again, but yeah, the current format is just stale. See, this shit is why, people create their own casual formats, to specifically get away from it all. And yet in certain ones there's still like certain floodgates and negates and even Ash Blossom which are still allowed for like some reason, and it's like, do you not think that this defeats the whole point and goes against the spirit of a casual, chilled and relaxed format? It's annoying, as even in like certain casual formats there's always a couple of people just being a try-hard and playing bullshit that just doesn't let anyone else play the game. It's ridiculous. And this even more just makes me miss the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where games would actually be fun, fair and balanced, and there were just more evenly matched games with like no bullshit that just doesn't let you play. I mean, yeah, there were like, there'd be the odd one or two OTK or FTK deck, but those got killed off by the ban list. Old Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just easier and a lot more fun. As I said, things in the game just aren't simple anymore. I try and make my format fun and simple, and try and purge all the degenerate bullshit and slow the game down. I mean, yeah, there's still some complexities, but it's still better than the modern current format. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but Um, but yeah, other than that, pass format games are just a lot more fun as well. Like even back when that was considered current format. It was great just frequently having games whenever I could. Like even over Skype and DevPro and Dueling Network. I miss the Skype games with the members of the Kalo's Conference podcast. I swear we'd be on Skype like every single night, whether it's to duel or just hang out and chill. Although the Skype matches were a lot of fun. Even the ones with Emma Blue Eyes 10, even where something silly would happen that would just have us both laughing. But yeah, now pretty much all the others just don't even play anymore due to various reasons. Although I think Neo Nexus still plays, but doesn't upload any games anymore. And I'm a little unsure whether or not Scapegoat User still does. But yeah, I just miss that. Although, the online games with Dark Magic Couple 1985 and Gunga are the closest thing I have to that. But that's still fun as well, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I miss the frequent Skype matches with like the members of the Kalo's Conference podcast, and just missing when the game was simpler and more fun, especially when it comes to like anything before synchros existed. It just annoys me when people who like 5Ds and beyond just shit on original series and GX and just blanket disregard it and say rude things about it, and practically refusing to acknowledge its existence. Now, we're all entitled to our own opinion, but this just really bothers me, as an old school duelist who started out in the original series era and really enjoyed that era and the GX era. And it's like, well, 5Ds and beyond wouldn't even have been a thing if it wasn't for the original series and GX era. Some of us just preferred the way the game was back then. The synchros and the 15 card extra deck limit just changed too much, although admittedly not as much as when Pendulum's Links and the first turn no draw rule just changed everything too much. Things just haven't been the same ever since. Sometimes I wish the game just ended like when GX era ended, or some would have preferred it when it ended after Zexal era. Pre-synchro era wasn't perfect, but at least it was better than modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And just a lot easier easier and a lot more fun. Um, yeah, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Just isn't that fun anymore, and yeah, my own personal format is about as close as I'll get to playing it that way. Um, yeah, another thing I miss is just opening packs and boxes and tins. I have done it on special occasions recently, but yeah, I just miss being able to do that. But unfortunately, due to current circumstances, I can't do that right now. Yeah, it's frustrating, and it just results in lack of variety of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content on my channel. I still put out content that I really like. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's just not enough variety. No pack openings, no battle royales, no tag games. Yeah, I wish I could do more of that. Hell, I even wanted to buy a box of Supreme Darkness just so I could get every single new evil hero card. Well, thanks to friends of mine, I have been able to get those, although, rather interestingly, Infernal Rider, a common, is the only new evil hero card I don't have. Sometimes I think, well, maybe I should go into town and just get a pack or two of Supreme Darkness to see if I pull it, but again, it's like, it's using up money, and even though it's a common, I might not even pull it. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I would like to do it again eventually, more frequent openings, but I just can't. And then there's Battle Royales, which I do really miss. It's like, if I wanted to do those and tag games, I'd have to go back to the county where I used to live and just make that happen. The battle royals are always a good laugh, just a group of friends playing against each other in one big duel, just having fun and a laugh. Even though most of us were under the current format, but I guess I didn't mind that much, especially because of more silly shit that just happens from them. Like Cookie's reaction when I added Katsuya Tribe of Tenki. That was one of the best moments ever on camera. And there's tag, and like I said, I honestly don't remember the last time I was involved in a tag team duel. Yeah, it's just other ways of dueling that I really miss having. I mean, like I said, I could try and find another locals to go to. I'm pretty sure there is one that's like a train ride or bus ride. I'm not quite sure. But the only thing that's making me hesitant about that is, again, current format, because these guys are just bound to only be interested in current format, and yeah, I don't know if they'd be willing to give mine a go. And you know, I don't want to force it on people, of course. Of course, past format is a good middle ground. Like, even if it's just go to Edison. Of course, at the moment, I feel like it's just me, Dark Magic Couple, and Gunga that are interested in September 2007 games. But although I'm hoping other people can get interested in it. There is Hat as well, I suppose, even though that's the least enjoyable of them. I mean, I still have a Hat deck, which is my Dark Magic Strike deck. But you know, I wouldn't enter a Hat tournament personally, because, well, there's just annoying decks that I don't want to deal with. Mermails, Evil Swarms, Hat itself, and Boojins. But you know, again, I don't hate Boojins anymore, but you know, back then they were just infuriating to play against. Of course, that being said, it would be nice to meet up with Neo-Nexus again, and Scapegoat User, and Mr. Sasuke Dragon, and Wiggy. Although I don't know if Mr. Sasuke Dragon even plays anymore. And like I said, I've no idea if Scapegoat User still plays or not. I mean, even if I don't play current format with them, I'm sure we can get some retro format games going, if we're all able to meet up again. Well, one other thing I wish I could do is recreate like all the duels that me and the guys did, like within the first like 4 or 5 times that I came over to visit them. Yeah, that would have been great. Just playing my past format Legendary Hero and Dark Magician Hero decks. Speaking of, this is a bit unrelated, but sometimes I even think about bringing back Legendary Hero and Dark Magician Hero in some way or another, but not have it focused on the main protagonist decks, but just simply make it a mixture of my signature and favourite 3. Then again, that would be another version of Dark Magician and Fusion Friends. I wouldn't know what official name I'd give it, but it would be cool just having Dark Magician, Elemental Hero, Shining Flare, Wingman, and Rainbow Neos just together again in one deck again, and have them be my 3 boss monsters, which does make sense since they're my favourite 3 cards in the entire game. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on the game currently. I'm not quite sure what to call this video at the moment, but yeah, that was just everything I wanted to say. And yeah, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.